Hi, first grade. I'm here in the art room surrounded by some amazing cave paintings. These are photographs of actual works of art that are thousands of years old. Today I'm going to tell you a story, a true story. In the year 1940, there was a boy in France playing in the countryside with his dog named Robot. The dog wandered off and disappeared. The boy searched for the dog, followed the sounds of his barking, and found that the dog had fallen into a small hole. The boy dug down a little to get the dog, but when he went into the hole, he realized it was the entrance to something much bigger, a very special cave. The boy came back later with 3 of his friends and lanterns. They went inside the cave and they discovered what you see here. Amazing, beautiful paintings. They saw things like cows and horses galloping across the walls. Beautiful, bold colors. Images of deer swimming. Bulls, cows, animals that lived thousands of years ago. Even buffalo. The boys went back again. They brought their teacher. Their teacher knew right away that they had stumbled across something very, very special. This became known as the Cave of Lascaux. It was a worldwide phenomenon. How old were these paintings? Why were they made? So many questions started because of this discovery. People flocked to the cave. They wanted to see the art for themselves. The cave was open to the public for a few short years, but then it eventually closed because of all the people coming to visit, their oxygen from their breath, heat, humidity, all kinds of things started to deteriorate on the art. That means the art started to fade and not stay as nice. So the cave was closed. Only special people can get in with permission, but a second cave was built as an exact replica in the same area. So people can still go to this part of France today and visit and see what looks to be the authentic artwork. We are lucky because I have all these wonderful posters, and I'm going to be sharing with you an actual tour of this cave that you can see in the next slide. I have a book I'm going to read part of with you today. This is one that's in our library. I'll eventually return it, and you can choose to check this book out at some point if you want. But it has a lot of great information. This is what a ceiling looks like. Many of these paintings were done on ceilings, on rock walls, and keep in mind, it's in a cave. There's no light. So a lot of mysteries are surrounding how these awesome paintings were made and how, so long ago, people were able to make them. Cave paintings were not a way of decorating shelters. For people seldom lived deep within caves, nor were the paintings done for fun. It was dark, damp, slippery. The caves were not pleasant places to work. Some pictures were painted in nooks and crannies that were hard to squeeze into. Ceilings and other high places required ladders or scaffolds, which is like a large ladder with a surface on top to stand on. Art must have played an important part in the lives of modern humans and had meaning for them. But what did it mean? Because the art shows mostly animals, some people have thought the paintings were hunting magic. There may be some truth to that idea, but it cannot be the whole story. It does, for example, explain why there are so few reindeer and birds, both of which were important foods. One cave has more horses than any other animal. I'll go ahead and move on to showing you. This is a picture of the Lascaux cave today. And you can see it is very dark inside. You would need light to see it, but look how large those amazing bulls are. Very, very beautiful. I'll show you another page. Oops. Okay. These are some sculptures also found in and around the caves. No one knows when modern humans first became artists. Good art seems to appear suddenly, as if there were earlier works they have not been found or have not survived. But the artists used their talents in many ways and made use of many materials. They made small objects that could be worn or carried around. They pierced and strung seashells and animal teeth to wear as necklaces, earrings, and bracelets. They carved animal figures out of ivory and used ivory to make beads and decorated clothing. This is a photo of how artists from this Stone Age may have lived. They lived in camps. If you've ever gone camping, it might have been something like that. And they lived in camps so they could move with the different changing seasons and herds of animals. Hunting was their main source of survival for food and clothing. The Cave of Lascaux is not the only famous ancient cave with ancient artwork and paintings. There are actually many others. Most are in France or in Spain, but some have been found even in Africa or Australia. I'm going to tell you one more story. This is a recent one. In the year 1994, 3 friends got together in France to go exploring. They were rock climbing, and they were along this area here. This is called limestone. And they came across what looked to be the small entrance to something, like a cave. And they actually had to break away at the rocks. And when they did, they found an entrance to yet another hidden cave. Now, these caves have been sealed off for thousands of years by changing landforms and different conditions in the weather. Once humans enter them, they're probably the first ones to enter in what could be thousands and thousands of years. Now, this cave is called, Chauvet, and it was named after one of the explorers that found the cave. And you can see here lots of animal paintings again. This is the oldest known cave. It's dated back to be about 32,000 years old. Lascaux was dated at about 17,000 years old. There's people called archaeologists who use science to discover how old something is, how it was made, how different tools were used. And so that's how people have discovered more about the caves. I hope you've enjoyed this. Continue watching so you can see the virtual tour of the Cave of Lascaux and some more pictures.